Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share a profound truth about love, patience, and the journey back to what truly matters. When someone you care about walks away, it can feel like the end of the world, but in reality, there's a beautiful, inevitable pattern that unfolds before they come back to you. A pattern rooted in growth, understanding, and divine timing. Let's take a moment to truly understand what patience signifies in the grand scheme of life and love. It's often misunderstood as mere waiting or passive endurance, but in reality, patience is one of the most profound signs of strength a person can possess. When you're in a situation where someone you care about has stepped away, or the relationship seems to be on pause, it's tempting to fall into frustration, doubt, or even despair. Yet, true patience, deep, unwavering patience, is a powerful reflection of your inner resilience. It speaks volumes about your character, your ability to hold space for uncertainty, and your unwavering belief in the natural flow of life. Waiting for someone to return isn't about weakness. It's about mastering the art of emotional regulation and self-control. It's about understanding that some things are beyond your immediate control and having the courage to accept that. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of rushing, trying to force outcomes, or desperately seeking answers. But real strength lies in the calm that comes with trusting the process, even when it's uncomfortable or uncertain. When you choose patience, you're demonstrating that your sense of worth isn't dependent on the immediate outcome or external validation. Instead, you're anchored in your own self-worth, knowing that whatever is meant to be will unfold in its own perfect time. Patience also requires a deep level of emotional resilience. It's about holding space for your feelings, whether it's longing, hope, disappointment, or hope again, without allowing these emotions to override your sense of peace, feeling all of it but not being controlled by it. This resilience is built through daily practices of mindfulness, self-awareness, and cultivating a sense of inner calm. You practice patience, the more you strengthen your emotional muscles. Over time, you come to see that the storms of emotion are temporary and your inner core remains unshaken. You realize that your happiness, your sense of self, and your confidence are rooted within, not in external circumstances or another person's actions. Choosing patience also reflects a deep understanding of life's natural rhythms. Just as the seasons change and the tides ebb and flow, relationships follow their own course. Sometimes growth requires space, distance, or even silence. Recognizing that everything has its own timing allows you to embrace patience as a vital part of the journey. Rather than fighting against the natural order, you align yourself with it. You understand that rushing or forcing things only disrupts the organic flow, often leading to unnecessary pain or setbacks. Patience becomes an act of trust, trust in yourself, trust in the other person, and trust in the universe's divine timing. Moreover, patience isn't about passivity or resignation. It's an active stance of hope and confidence. It involves ongoing self-care, self-love, and maintaining a positive outlook despite the setbacks. It's about choosing to nurture your heart and mind, knowing that they are resilient enough to withstand the temporary pauses and setbacks. This resilience is what ultimately makes patience a sign of strength. It's easy to be patient when everything is smooth sailing, but the real test of strength is in remaining calm and centered when faced with adversity or prolonged uncertainty. When you practice patience, you're also cultivating a sense of humility. You acknowledge that some things are beyond your control, and that's okay. You accept that life has its own timing. Perhaps there are lessons you need to learn during this waiting period. Patience teaches you humility because it reminds you that you're not in control of everything. It's a humbling realization that despite your efforts, some outcomes are predestined to unfold at the right moment. This humility, in turn, deepens your emotional resilience, making you more adaptable and less prone to frustration or disappointment. Patience is an act of love both for yourself and for others. It's an acknowledgement that love is patient, that it can withstand the test of time, distance, or silence. It's a demonstration of your respect for the natural process of growth and healing, yours and theirs. When you choose patience, you're not just waiting, you're affirming your faith in the possibility of reunion, renewal, and second chances. You're demonstrating that you value the process as much as the outcome, which is a true sign of inner strength and maturity. In essence, patience is a testament to the depth of your character. It shows that you're capable of enduring hardship without losing sight of your core values. It reveals that you understand life's unpredictability and accept it with grace. It's a declaration that your strength isn't measured by how quickly things happen, but by how patiently and with resilience you navigate the waiting. It's about holding on to hope without clinging, trusting without forcing, and loving without desperation. Patience is a quiet, powerful act that elevates your spirit, fortifies your resolve, ultimately prepares you for the beautiful moments that are yet to come. When love, hope, or longing puts us in a period of waiting, it's natural to feel restless, impatient, or even discouraged. What if I told you that this waiting isn't merely a passive state of mind? What if it's actually one of the most valuable opportunities life offers for your personal growth and transformation? The waiting period, often seen as a time of limbo or frustration, can be reframed as a sacred space, an incubator for self-discovery, learning, and evolution. During these times, you have the unique chance to turn your focus inward and become more attuned to your true self. Instead of fixating on external outcomes or the absence of someone's presence, you can redirect that energy towards understanding who you are at your core. This is a time to reflect on your values, your passions, your dreams, and your boundaries. It's a moment to ask yourself, truly what? Who am I when I'm not defined by my relationship status or by someone else's approval? These questions are powerful because they push you to develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and clarity. When you understand yourself better, you're less likely to be swayed by external circumstances and more anchored in your authentic identity. Waiting also provides an opportunity to cultivate patience, resilience, and emotional maturity. These qualities don't develop overnight. They are forged through repeated practice in the face of uncertainty or adversity. As you navigate this period, you learn to manage your emotions, whether it's anxiety, hope, or disappointment, without letting them control your actions. You learn to sit with discomfort and accept it as part of the process. This acceptance in itself is a form of growth because it teaches you to be present with what is rather than resisting or trying to escape from it. Over time, this patience and resilience spill over into other areas of your life, empowering you to handle challenges with grace and composure. Furthermore, waiting allows you to invest in yourself in ways that may have been neglected during busier or more distracting times. It's a perfect window to develop new skills, deepen existing passions, pursue personal projects that bring you joy. Maybe it's taking up a new hobby, learning a language, or dedicating time to your physical health. These activities not only enrich your life, but also reinforce your sense of self-worth and independence. When you focus on self-improvement during this period, you're actively shaping your future, regardless of what happens with the relationship. You're building a foundation of confidence and self-reliance that will serve you well in every aspect of your life. Waiting is also an ideal time for emotional healing. Perhaps past wounds, insecurities, or doubts have been lingering beneath the surface. This quiet period offers the space needed to confront those issues with honesty and compassion. You can seek therapy, journal your thoughts, meditate, or engage in practices that promote inner peace. Healing isn't always linear, and it often requires patience and consistency. By dedicating time to your emotional well-being, you're not only preparing yourself for future relationships, but also becoming a more whole, balanced individual. This process of healing and growth can lead to a deeper understanding of love and compassion, qualities that attract healthier connections in the future. In addition, this waiting period can serve as a catalyst for redefining your goals and aspirations beyond romantic relationships. It's a chance to evaluate what truly matters to you in life. Perhaps you've been so focused on finding love that you've neglected other aspects of your happiness. Now is the time to set new personal goals, whether they involve your career, friendships, health, or personal development, and to actively pursue them. By doing so, you create a more balanced, fulfilling life that isn't solely dependent on external validation. This independence and self-sufficiency are attractive qualities because they foster confidence and authenticity, making you more magnetic to others when the time is right. Waiting also encourages you to practice gratitude for what you already have. It's easy to get caught up in longing for what's missing or hoping for a certain outcome. Shifting your focus to gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Recognizing and appreciating the blessings in your life, your health, your talents, your support system grounds you and boosts your emotional resilience. This shift not only improves your overall well-being, but also attracts positive energy into your life, creating an environment for growth and fulfillment. Most importantly, this period of waiting teaches you patience and humility. It reminds you that growth is a journey, not a destination. It's a process that requires consistent effort, self-compassion, and trust in the timing of life. Every moment spent in self-improvement, reflection, and healing adds up to a more resilient, confident, and authentic version of yourself. When the waiting is finally over, you won't just be ready to reconnect. You'll be a person who has evolved and grown in ways that make the relationship even richer and more meaningful. So, this waiting period, rather than being seen as a void or a setback, can be transformed into a powerful chapter of your personal development story. Use it wisely. Invest in yourself. Embrace the solitude as a gift rather than a curse, that every moment of growth during this time is laying the groundwork for a future that's even brighter and more aligned with your highest self. When you look back, you'll realize that this period of waiting was one of the most transformative experiences of your life, a time when you truly became the best version of yourself. In the intricate dance of life and relationships, understanding the concept of timing and recognizing the natural ebb and flow is essential for cultivating patience, peace, and acceptance. Life moves in cycles, much like the changing seasons, the rising and falling of the tides, or the phases of the moon. Nothing remains static, everything is in constant motion, unfolding at its own rhythm and pace. Embracing this reality can transform our perspective, allowing us to surrender control and trust in the divine order of things. Many of us have experienced moments of frustration when things don't happen as quickly as we desire, or when circumstances seem to be against us. We tend to want to accelerate the process, to force outcomes, or to rush the natural development of events. However, true wisdom lies in understanding that everything has its perfect timing. Just as a seed needs time to sprout, grow, blossom into a beautiful flower, so too do relationships, opportunities, and personal growth require patience and patience alone. Recognizing this helps us develop a sense of trust that life is working in our favor, even when the signs of progress are not immediately visible. Life cycles teach us that every phase has its purpose. Difficult times, for example, are not meant to last forever. They serve as periods of growth, reflection, and resilience. When we are in challenging situations or waiting for something significant, be it a reconciliation, a career breakthrough, personal transformation, it's vital to remember that these phases are temporary. They are chapters in a larger story, each with its own unique lessons. The discomfort or uncertainty we feel in these moments is often a necessary part of the process that prepares us for the blessings ahead. Patience allows us to honor these cycles, trusting that they will give way to better days when the time is right. Understanding the natural flow of life also involves cultivating a sense of surrender. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome and instead embracing the idea that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This doesn't mean passivity or resignation, but rather a conscious acceptance of the present moment and its inherent timing. When we become attuned to life cycles, we learn to recognize the signs and synchronicities that indicate the right moment for action or change. We become more sensitive to the subtle cues that life offers, guiding us when to wait, when to act, and when to let go. Every relationship has its seasons. Sometimes two people are perfectly aligned and the connection flourishes effortlessly. Other times, circumstances or personal growth journeys may require space, distance, or even temporary separation. These periods are not signs of failure or rejection, but part of the natural rhythm of deepening understanding and healing. Respecting these cycles fosters patience and compassion, both for ourselves and others. It reminds us that love, growth, and connection are not about rushing or forcing, but about allowing things to unfold naturally in their own time. Life cycles also teach us humility. No matter how much we plan, strategize, or wish for control, certain outcomes are beyond our influence. Trusting the timing of life is an act of humility, acknowledging that we are part of a larger, intricate design that extends beyond our limited perspective. Sometimes, what we think we want desperately may not be aligned with our highest good, and only with patience and trust do we allow the universe to reveal the right path. When we accept that everything happens in its own time, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering caused by impatience and unmet expectations. Embracing the natural flow of life encourages us to develop resilience and adaptability. We learn to flow with the currents rather than against them. We realize that resistance only prolongs our suffering and delays the arrival of what's meant for us. Instead, we cultivate an attitude of openness, patience, and gratitude for each moment, trusting that what is meant for us will come when the time is right. This perspective creates a sense of peace, even amidst uncertainty, because we understand that life's timing is perfect, even if it's not immediately visible. When we internalize the idea that everything unfolds in its own time, we become more compassionate towards ourselves and others. We stop rushing or judging ourselves for perceived delays and instead honor the process of growth and healing. We recognize that patience is not passive, but a powerful act of faith in the divine rhythm of life. We accept that some things are simply not meant to happen prematurely. That true fulfillment often requires waiting and trusting. This understanding nurtures a sense of serenity and confidence, knowing that life is working in our favor, orchestrating each moment with precision and care. In essence, understanding the natural cycles of life and relationships empowers us to live more peacefully and authentically. It teaches us to surrender control, trust in divine timing, and honor the seasons of our journey. It reminds us that everything has its place and purpose, Every delay, every challenge, every moment of waiting is part of a larger design meant to prepare us for the blessings to come. By embracing the ebb and flow of life, we cultivate patience, resilience, and gratitude, ultimately guiding us toward a deeper sense of harmony and fulfillment. The more we align ourselves with these natural rhythms, the more we realize that everything is unfolding exactly as it should at just the right moment. Maintaining faith and hope in life's journey is an essential aspect of personal resilience and inner peace. It's natural to desire positive outcomes, to dream of better days, and to believe that things will improve or that the universe is working in our favor. However, there's a delicate balance between holding on to hope and becoming overly dependent or obsessed with a specific outcome. When hope turns into obsession, it can lead to frustration, anxiety, a sense of helplessness. The key is learning how to nurture your faith without allowing it to morph into attachment or desperation, recognizing that true hope is rooted in trusting the process rather than controlling the results. The most important lessons in maintaining this balance is understanding that hope is an attitude, a mindset of trust and optimism rather than a fixation on a particular outcome. Hope, when seen as a gentle guiding light, provides motivation and strength without becoming a source of suffering if things don't unfold exactly as envisioned. It's about cultivating a sense of openness and surrender, acknowledging that life is unpredictable and that some things are beyond our immediate control. When you approach hope with this perspective, it becomes a source of inspiration rather than a burden. It's also vital to distinguish between hope and attachment. Hope is a flexible, forgiving belief that good things are possible. Attachment, on the other hand, is a rigid insistence that things must happen in a specific way or within a certain time frame. When we become attached to particular outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. We may cling desperately to the idea of a certain relationship, career, or life situation, pushing ourselves into anxiety and obsession. Instead, practicing detachment while still holding on to hope allows us to remain open to the natural flow of life. We learn to trust that what is meant for us will come at the right time without forcing or obsessing over it. Another approach to maintaining hope without obsession is cultivating a sense of surrender and faith in the divine timing of life. Surrender doesn't mean giving up or resigning oneself to passivity. Rather, it's about releasing the need to control every detail and trusting that life is unfolding exactly as it should. When we surrender, we acknowledge that our understanding is limited and that there is a higher intelligence or energy guiding the universe. This mindset fosters patience and reduces anxiety because it shifts the focus from frantic striving to peaceful acceptance. Trusting the process allows hope to flourish naturally without the pressure of immediate results or the fear of failure. Practicing mindfulness and staying present are powerful tools for maintaining hope without obsession. When we focus too much on future outcomes, we risk losing sight of the present moment, the only place where life truly exists. By anchoring ourselves in the now, we remind ourselves that life is happening in this moment and that everything we desire can be nurtured through our actions, attitudes, and inner states right here and now. Mindfulness helps us see situations clearly without projections or assumptions and enables us to respond with clarity and calmness. This present moment awareness creates a sense of peace and resilience, preventing hope from turning into frantic longing or obsession. It's also important to nurture gratitude as a foundation for hope. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's already present and abundant in our lives. When we focus on what we appreciate, we cultivate a positive mindset that naturally attracts more goodness. Gratitude reminds us that even in difficult times, there are blessings and lessons to be gleaned. This attitude of appreciation sustains hope because it reinforces the belief that life is good and that better days are possible. It helps us maintain a balanced perspective, so hope remains a source of upliftment rather than despair. Building a support system is another essential aspect of keeping hope alive without becoming overly dependent. Connecting with friends, family, or mentors who uplift and inspire us can provide encouragement and perspective. Sharing our hopes and fears with trusted others reminds us that we are not alone and that support and guidance are available. However, it's crucial that we don't rely solely on external validation or approval. True resilience comes from cultivating an inner sense of trust and confidence in ourselves and the universe. External support should serve as an enhancement, not a crutch, to flourish independently. Practicing patience and self-compassion is vital. Sometimes, despite our best efforts to stay hopeful, things may take longer than we wish or unfold differently than anticipated. During these times, it's important to be gentle with ourselves, acknowledging that life's timing is often beyond our control. Patience teaches us to accept delays and setbacks with grace, reinforcing the understanding that everything occurs in its own time and rhythm. Self-compassion helps us avoid feelings of failure or inadequacy when things don't go according to plan, encouraging us to remain hopeful and resilient rather than despairing or obsessing. In essence, maintaining hope without obsession requires a nuanced balance of trust, surrender, mindfulness, gratitude, support, patience, and self-love. It's about nurturing a steady inner flame that guides us through life's uncertainties without letting it burn too brightly into flames of anxiety or despair. When we cultivate this balance, hope becomes a gentle yet powerful force, an unwavering belief that life is unfolding in perfect harmony, even when we cannot see the full picture. It is this trust in the natural flow of life that allows hope to thrive, enriching our journey with resilience, peace, and unwavering faith. In the pursuit of a fulfilling and meaningful life, one of the most profound realizations we can come to is that true confidence and inner peace are not dependent on external circumstances or validation. Spend a significant portion of our lives seeking approval from others, striving to meet societal expectations, chasing after achievements and possessions that we believe will bring us happiness. However, these external sources of validation are often fleeting, unstable, ultimately insufficient for cultivating a deep sense of well-being. Genuine confidence and peace stem from within, an inward sanctuary that remains steady regardless of the changing tides of life. The truth is, external validation is inherently limited because it relies on the opinions, judgments, and perceptions of others. While receiving recognition or affirmation can temporarily boost our self-esteem, relying solely on external validation creates a fragile foundation for our sense of worth. When praise fades or criticism arises, our confidence can waver and our inner peace can be disturbed. In contrast, when we cultivate a strong inner foundation, anchored in self-awareness, self-acceptance, and inner strength, we develop an unshakable sense of confidence that is not easily swayed by external factors. This inner confidence is rooted in knowing ourselves deeply, embracing our imperfections, and valuing our intrinsic worth beyond fleeting achievements or opinions. Inner peace is similarly rooted in our internal state rather than external conditions. It is a calm, centered awareness that exists independently of external circumstances. Life will inevitably bring challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties, but when our peace is anchored within, we can navigate these situations with resilience and clarity. Inner peace is not about avoiding difficulties or suppressing emotions. Rather, it is about cultivating a sense of equanimity, an acceptance of life's natural ups and downs, so that we remain grounded and composed regardless of external chaos. This peace flows from a deep connection to our inner selves, our values, and our sense of purpose, which serve as guiding lights through turbulent times. Developing this internal foundation requires intentional inner work. Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, self-reflection, and cultivating gratitude help us connect to our true selves beyond superficial layers. Meditation, for instance, allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment or judgment, fostering a sense of calm and clarity. Mindfulness helps us stay present, preventing us from becoming overwhelmed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. Self-reflection encourages us to examine our beliefs, patterns, and motivations, enabling us to cultivate authenticity and self-awareness. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already possess, fostering contentment and appreciation for the present moment. Building a resilient inner core also involves developing self-acceptance. Embracing our imperfections and acknowledging our vulnerabilities is a vital step toward cultivating genuine confidence. When we accept ourselves fully, flaws and all, we free ourselves from the need for external approval or the fear of judgment. Self-acceptance creates a sense of wholeness that cannot be shaken by external opinions because our sense of worth is rooted in our own recognition of our inherent value. This self-assurance empowers us to act with authenticity, pursue our passions, and stand firm in our convictions, knowing that our worth does not depend on external validation. Another essential aspect of inner peace is aligning with our core values and purpose. When we live in accordance with what truly matters to us, we experience a sense of fulfillment that is independent of external success or recognition. Living authentically fosters a sense of integrity and self-respect, reinforcing our inner confidence. When our actions reflect our deepest truths, we cultivate a peace that is resilient to external fluctuations. This alignment creates a harmonious internal environment where we feel centered and grounded regardless of external circumstances. Furthermore, cultivating compassion and forgiveness, both towards ourselves and others, contributes significantly to inner peace. Holding on to resentment, regret, self-criticism erodes our inner calm and clouds our sense of self-worth. Practicing forgiveness allows us to release the burdens of negativity, enabling us to experience a lighter, more peaceful state of being. Compassion nurtures an understanding that everyone, including ourselves, is imperfect and on a journey of growth. These qualities foster a gentle, accepting attitude towards life, reinforcing the idea that our worth is not dependent on external achievements, but on our inner capacity for love and kindness. Ultimately, developing inner peace and confidence is an ongoing process, one that requires patience, commitment, and self-awareness. It involves shifting our focus from external accomplishments and validation to cultivating a rich inner life rooted in self-love, acceptance, and purpose. When we recognize that our true worth and peace come from within, we liberate ourselves from the endless chase for external approval and material success, which can never fully satisfy our deepest longing for fulfillment. Instead, we find that genuine confidence arises from knowing ourselves deeply and embracing who we are. True peace emerges from an inner state of calm acceptance and alignment with our authentic selves. This inner sanctuary becomes our refuge amid life's storms, constant source of strength and serenity that remains unwavering regardless of what the external world may bring. In the journey of relationships, whether they are personal, spiritual, or emotional, periods of separation or distance are often viewed through a lens of loss or disappointment. However, it's important to recognize that these times apart are not merely pauses or setbacks. They can serve as vital periods of preparation that deepen our understanding, strengthen our resolve, and ultimately make the reunion more meaningful. The space created by separation offers an opportunity for growth, reflection, and renewal, allowing us to approach reconnection with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. When we find ourselves temporarily apart from someone or something we cherish, it can be tempting to rush toward reconciliation, eager to bridge the gap and restore what once was. Yet, rushing often diminishes the potential for genuine healing and understanding. Instead, viewing this time apart as a period of preparation allows us to step back and reflect on the circumstances, our own feelings, and the lessons we can learn. It's a chance to examine what the separation has revealed about ourselves, our needs, and our desires. This introspective process helps us identify what truly matters and what might have been overlooked or undervalued during the previous phases of the relationship. Preparation in this context involves cultivating patience and compassion, both towards ourselves and the other party. It's about understanding that growth takes time and that rushing the process can be counterproductive. During this interval, we can develop a clearer perspective on the issues that led to the separation, recognizing patterns or behaviors that require change or deeper understanding. This reflection can lead to greater emotional maturity, enabling us to approach the eventual reunion with humility, openness, and genuine intentions rooted in love and respect. Furthermore, periods of separation are opportunities to strengthen our inner resilience. When we're apart, we learn to stand on our own, nurturing our independence and self-awareness. This self-sufficiency does not mean detachment or emotional disconnection, but rather a healthy sense of self that can stand firm regardless of external circumstances. Building this inner strength prepares us to approach the reunion with a more grounded and balanced outlook, reducing the likelihood of recreating old patterns of dependency or insecurity. It allows us to come into the reconnection from a place of wholeness rather than neediness or desperation, which can often hinder genuine intimacy. During this time of waiting, it's also beneficial to focus on healing, both ourselves and, if applicable, the relationship. Healing involves forgiving past wounds, releasing resentment, and cultivating compassion. It's about letting go of grievances that might have accumulated and creating space for new beginnings. This process can be challenging, often requires honest acknowledgement of our own contributions to the difficulties faced. As we do this inner work, we prepare ourselves emotionally and psychologically for a more authentic and compassionate reunion, one where understanding and empathy are prioritized over defensiveness or blame. The period of separation can also be a time to develop a clearer sense of purpose and shared vision for the future. It allows us to step back from the immediacy of the situation and reflect on what we truly want from the relationship or connection. Are our goals aligned? Do we share the same values and aspirations? Taking the time to clarify these questions helps ensure that when the reunion occurs, it is rooted in mutual understanding and a shared commitment to growth. It transforms the reunion from a mere reunion of circumstances into a meaningful renewal of intention and connection. Patience is a crucial factor in this preparation. Often, we want to hasten the process, eager to reestablish what was lost or broken. But genuine reconnection requires timing, trusting that the right moment will arrive when both parties are ready. This patience can be difficult, especially when desire for reunion is strong, but it's essential to allow space for healing and growth to take place naturally. Rushing can lead to superficial fixes or repeated cycles of disappointment. Instead, embracing patience transforms the waiting period into a sacred space of anticipation, where hope and trust are cultivated, making the eventual reunion more profound and lasting. In addition, this period of preparation can be used to deepen our understanding of ourselves and our needs. It's a time to cultivate self-awareness, to recognize what we truly want and need in a relationship or connection, and to ensure that those needs are aligned with our core values. When we come into reunion with clarity about our own purpose and boundaries, we create a healthier foundation for the future. This self-knowledge empowers us to communicate more authentically and to approach the reunion with a sense of integrity, fostering trust and mutual respect. The time apart, when viewed as a period of preparation, becomes an invaluable gift, a space for healing, growth, and deep reflection. It allows us to shed old patterns, develop inner strength, clarify our intentions. It provides the necessary groundwork for a more meaningful, authentic, and resilient reunion. When we approach this phase with patience, compassion, a willingness to learn, the eventual coming together is enriched with purpose and understanding. It is no longer merely about restoring what was lost, but about creating something new that is rooted in awareness, mutual respect, and genuine connection. This perspective transforms separation from a painful hiatus into a powerful opportunity for renewal, ensuring that the reunion is not just a return, but a step forward into a deeper, more meaningful chapter of our shared journey. In life, we often find ourselves facing moments of uncertainty, times when the path ahead is unclear, the destination seems distant, or even unreachable. During these periods, it is natural to feel anxious, impatient, or doubtful about whether we are moving in the right direction. However, one of the most powerful principles we can embrace is trusting the process. Trusting in the journey means having faith that, even amidst ambiguity and difficulty, a purpose unfolding, one that ultimately leads to growth, transformation, and better outcomes. It is about surrendering the need to control every detail and instead allowing life to unfold in its natural rhythm, confident that each step, each challenge, each delay is an integral part of our development. Trusting the process requires us to cultivate patience and resilience. Often, our desire for immediate results or clear answers clouds our ability to see the bigger picture. We want certainty, comfort, and quick fixes, but life seldom offers these in the form we expect. Instead, it presents us with opportunities to learn, to adapt, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. When we trust the process, we acknowledge that growth is not always linear or predictable. It may involve setbacks, detours, or moments of apparent stagnation. These are not signs of failure. They are essential components of our evolution. Every obstacle becomes a lesson. Every delay a chance to pause, reflect, and refine our approach. Trust also entails surrendering the illusion that we can control every outcome. We may have plans, ambitions, and desires, but life has its own rhythm, often beyond our immediate comprehension. By letting go of the need to micromanage every aspect, we open ourselves to new possibilities and unforeseen opportunities. Trusting the process means believing that life has a way of guiding us toward what is ultimately best for us, even if it is not immediately apparent. It involves embracing the uncertainty with an open heart and mind, knowing that the universe or the natural flow of life is working in our favor, even when things seem chaotic or discouraging. This mindset of trust can be cultivated through mindfulness and presence. When we remain anchored in the present moment, we become more attuned to the subtle signs and lessons that life offers. Instead of fixating on future outcomes or dwelling on past mistakes, we focus on what we can learn and do now. Every experience, whether positive or negative, becomes an integral part of our journey. Trusting the process encourages us to surrender attachment to specific results and instead find peace in the unfolding of life itself. It's about recognizing that the journey is just as important as the destination and that each step is a vital part of our growth. Trusting the process fosters a sense of inner strength and confidence. When we believe that everything is happening for our highest good, we become more resilient in the face of adversity. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable begin to appear as necessary catalysts for change. We understand that setbacks are often setups for comebacks. Failures are simply feedback guiding us toward better choices. This trust allows us to cultivate patience and perseverance, knowing that persistence, combined with faith, will eventually lead us to the clarity and success we seek. Trusting the process also involves cultivating gratitude for where we are and what we have, even when things are not perfect. Gratitude shifts our perspective from scarcity or frustration to abundance and acceptance. When we appreciate the lessons and blessings present in each moment, we reinforce our belief that life is unfolding exactly as it should. This attitude creates a positive feedback loop, encouraging patience, resilience, openness to new opportunities, making it easier to stay committed to the journey, even when the road is rough. It's important to remember that trusting the process does not mean passivity or complacency. It is an active choice to remain receptive and optimistic, to keep moving forward despite uncertainties. It involves taking inspired action, when appropriate, but also allowing space for the universe to work its magic. Sometimes the best course of action is to surrender a little more, to trust that what is meant to come will come at the right time, in the right way. This balance between effort and surrender is the essence of trusting the process. Ultimately, trusting the process transforms fear of the unknown into faith in the unfolding of life. It teaches us that growth often requires patience, that setbacks are opportunities in disguise. The best outcomes often come from trusting in the timing of life's natural flow. When we surrender to this trust, we free ourselves from the stress of control and open our hearts to the beauty of what is possible. We learn to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for profound transformation, knowing that every experience is shaping us into the fullest expression of ourselves. Trusting the process is a declaration of faith that, no matter how uncertain the journey may seem, it is leading us toward growth of fulfillment and the realization of our highest potential.